So, welcome to GymCastic.
Thank you so much.
So this is a special episode requested by you.
Yeah, I know.
Which I was like, what? Oh my God, okay, yes, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a video and we're doing a podcast. So for those of you who are listening to this, you can also watch a video and we'll tell you how to do that.
Yeah, come watch the video.
Yes, because it looks amazing in here.
For sure.
And we look super hot, just so you know.
Don't you? Yeah. Oh my God. Well, you do.
We do. No, you do. Okay. So let's just start with some Mythbusters, which is something we like to do on the show. Gymnastics Mythbusters. So let's start with the first one, which is it true or false that you had to hire security guards after the Olympics?
It's true. Yeah. After we got off the plane from New York, that's the first place that we went, and we definitely had to have some people help us out. Like, I mean, we just got back from the Olympics and our country was just like freaking out. They were just so excited to see us. So yes, that's true.
Is it true that you were at one point afraid that you were going to be too tall for gymnastics because your dad's really tall?
Yes. Well, my mom's like 5'2" and my dad's like 6'4", and people just would tell me all the time, you're going to be so tall. Like, you're not going to be able to go to the Olympics. You're going to be like smacking the bar. And so they just put that in my head. So I was kind of like scared about that. But gymnastics definitely like stunts your growth. Like it.
You think?
Yeah, completely. So anybody who's like worried about being tall, like their dad, like it's not going to happen.
Okay. So who do you credit with teaching you the technique for your vault?
Some gymnasts are just great at specific events. And I will definitely give credit to Howie and Arthur for sure, because they made it better. But I think at the end of the day, it's like a God-given talent. You know, Usain Bolt, like nobody can teach him to run that fast. You know, but they can make them better. They can make them run faster. So
a lot of people wanted to give it to Howie.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was the one who made me start doing 2.5s. Who was like, you need to do this, you need to, like, you're gonna go to the Olympics. So he believed in me, like, and he wanted that for me. I was training double backs. Like, yes. I had a dream the other night that one of the girls competed a double back, and I was like, I should have done that vault. I should have done it. And then I just remember that it was a dream, so.
You were like, when you did, I mean, just your timers, everyone could see you could do a double back. Like, so many coaches are afraid for their gymnasts to do that because there's no
You know
outs.
What happened? I went to camp, and Marta was like, do not ever do that again. Yeah. Like, because it was, that's not the right accent. But it just, like, I did it, and I did it there, like, a couple times, and she got mad at Howie. She was like, don't make her do that. Like, that's, because I was, like, 14 at the time.
Yeah.
And it's just the most intense block. Like, you have to block so high. And the thing about double backs that's really dangerous is it's like, once you're going for it, you're going for it. With 2.5, you can maybe do a full, a double.
Right.
When you're doing double back, you can't stop. You're going to die.
Right.
So, die. Like, there's no
getting out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I definitely was serious about that.
So you actually did them at camp in front of Marta.
Yeah.
That is the best freaking thing I've ever heard in my life.
I got in trouble for it.
Her being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of vault, let's talk about you're in London.
Yeah.
Your finals vault in the team finals. Team finals, not event
that
finals.
One.
Team finals. Yeah, the one that you stuck the shit out of.
Okay, so we can't say that. Great.
Yes. Do you think that you should have gotten a 10 on that vault?
Yeah, I do. But at least it wasn't like, you don't ever really see the score at the Olympics, you know? And it was team finals. Like, at the end of the day, I was competing for my team. I wasn't even competing for myself. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I didn't get a 10. Like, I did that stick for the team, and we all did. Like, it was, that moment was definitely like that Olympic moment that was just like, us 3 girls just went up and like hit. Like, if you watch it on YouTube, I like ran off and I was like dancing. Literally all I wanted to do was just like start dancing, because that's what I want to do when I was happy. So I was like trying not to like be like really weird. So it was just meant to be and very special, and I will never forget that moment.
That's awesome.
The Olympics has like, just think about it. Like, people train their whole life for those moments. So just intense things happen. It's just an extreme environment in that building.
Yeah.
You can feel it. It's crazy.
Okay, so 2013 Worlds, you came back, you made another team. So after the Olympics, you had your toe surgery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have 4 surgeries between because you had the toe,
three.
Broken leg.
I competed at the Olympics with a fractured shin and a broken toe, bone, foot. Everything was like shattered and horrible and displaced, and went home. No. I went on tour with all of that broken. And since my whole body was just like, McKayla, please stop doing gymnastics. Like, we're dying here. So I like broke it on like the first show that we had and fractured my tibia right out of my leg, and had to be taken to the emergency room and get surgery on that like as fast as possible. And then we were just like, might as well get the toe surgery. And then I had to get the screws taken out of this because they started like popping out of my leg, because when screws don't want to be in your leg, they come out of your leg. So that's something that I took from that. But 3 surgeries, and then went to Worlds, and just, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think you showed people actually that you could have a life outside of gymnastics and a little bit of a career outside of gymnastics and
people
still
like
be a
that.
world champion. I know, and I'm like, but she did it.
Stop posting, risque Instagram selfies. That is not going to help your gymnastics career.
I mean,
with gym, you still don't have a normal life. I think I was pretending, and you don't. You're in the gym 8 hours a day. It's not like I was like going to like parties or anything. I still don't. That's just not me. It's not any of the girls. We're very focused. If you're training for any competition in gymnastics, you are so, there's no halfway. I really wish she could, but she can't. It's not safe. And your mind physically can't do that because it's just like, it's too much, especially in the environment with my gym. Like in that place, you can't. It's like 6 days a week, like every day, very serious.
Yeah. So going back, you just talked about the tour and your injury on tour.
Yeah.
And
that was horrible.
It like me always wanting everyone to be as protected as possible, and all the gymnasts like just put them in bubble wrap and make sure they're happy until they could perform again. Like I've always wondered. About that?
Yeah, I was like, because people get hurt on tour.
Yes. And
see, I didn't know that. I wish I knew that. And your body's just so done after the Olympics. All you need to do, and all you should do, is just rest and like go on a vacation and just like don't even move your body. And the mat setup wasn't exactly competition right, because it's like, they set it up for one place. So it's kind of like an amusement park that like goes up and like gets taken down. They're not that safe. So the mat that I was going on where I broke my tibia, it wasn't a mat that was like okay or allowed or whatever the rules are.
It wasn't like a regulation mat.
So yeah, there was definitely a problem there, but I didn't even think about kind of speaking up about that. Just didn't come up. Well, everything happens for a reason, so it's all good.
Did anybody tell you ahead of time, like, with a fracture, if you have hard landings, this is what could happen?
It was just a bad idea in general, but you live and learn.
Back to 2013 Worlds. You had the leg, you had the toe, you had the knee,
2013
the screws.
Worlds, yes.
2013
okay,
Worlds. So this is after you came back.
Belgium, yeah.
Right. Belgium, with the Belgian waffles. So you refused to leave until you got waffles. You notified everyone after you won vault. But the thing that killed everyone is that you went on floor and you got deducted for the overtime. What happened? Did heads roll?
That was actually a horrible, that is something that kind of really was just like, this is why I want to go back, because I want to be able to do floor. Because floor, yeah, I love vault. Vault will always be like my event, but floor was my favorite event. And I would always say that in all my interviews, because you can express yourself, you can have fun, and you can really let people see your character. And floor was kind of the time to just be myself a little bit. So yeah, that moment was not cool, but my music, I guess, was a little too long, and they started the stopwatch early. Or I started my like Napoleon Dynamite pose too early, and
Is that what you called it?
Yeah. So It was just too bad because I really wanted to be, because at Visas, PNGs, I got first place, I think. So I really wanted to kind of keep that going for floor.
Yep.
And I did really well at the camp too. I got like the highest floor score I'd ever gotten at the camp, but that's all just like, you know, hidden secret stuff.
I know, right? Why are the camp scores always
It's
secret?
so weird too, because I always do my best things at camp, and I'm just like, ugh.
No one will ever know that I got a 17.5.
Yeah, I just always do great at the wrong times. Yeah.
I know. I wish everyone could know the scores and what goes on. I want a live feed camera from the camp so everyone can see everything.
But people don't want that there for a reason. Yeah, because it's just scary in there.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah.
The energy is like, oh my God, it's terrifying. And you feel like every move is like, this is me making the team or not, you know, like, and that moment and that amount of pressure had been like building up since like, for like years, you know, so it just gets so intense when it's just like 10, 15 days away that you're going to be, you know, leaving to go to the Olympics. And they never say that you're on the team. They never say that until you're there and you've competed the first day. So they're always just like, we can switch you out. Like, don't get big in your head. So when people say that like, oh, I was so cocky and that's why I fell on my vault because I like believed in myself, like that wasn't what it was. Like, you can't even be cocky in that sport. Like, it's impossible. Like, it's amazing how much just pressure we're under 24/7. Yeah.
And a lot of people have criticized the men's team because they have all the talent but don't do as well as the women, and they name the men's team so early, and people say that the camps aren't as intense and they need to do it more like the women do because the women are so successful.
I guess, yeah, we've done well with it, and we got the gold medal, so you can't really argue that didn't work, but I do think there are better ways for your body, because by the time I got to the Olympics, I already had a fractured shin and broken, like my toe was broken. And then at the Olympics, so we got off the plane. That camp was like 30 days long, like no days off. So I'm used to one Sunday, at least give me a Sunday off, and I'll just be like, God bless, it's God's day. Let me just like really just like take in this healing day. We had no day off.
30 days in a row?
Like, don't take my words like that seriously, but like I'm pretty sure like we were there for like a month we didn't have one day off. That's all I know. We didn't have one day off, and it was that long and intense and competing. We competed like 4 times. So by the time we were done and we pack up our stuff, we get on a plane and we get there and we get all of our clothes. And when you're in that Olympic environment, it's just so stimulating. It's just like crazy. Like your brain just starts spinning. And we go back to our room in the village and we've just like walked through the whole entire airport. We're like dead. We take like a 30-minute nap and we go to training. And I get on the beam, I do a dismount, and I thought my foot like fell off. And I was just like, oh my God, like this, I've never been, I almost threw up. Like it was, you know, when you're in so much pain that you just like, it just so bad. But I ended up still doing like 3 routines after that on beam too, and like made it worse. And then I just, by that time, when the pain like sits for a little while, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So we had like floor next, and I like couldn't even do floor, which was just like the first day. So I was just sitting in the corner hiding from media, like ice bucketing, and they were like, don't limp, smile, like make sure like you just look like you're, you know, fine. Because that's the only way that you're going to stay on this team, you know, because you always had to be on. There was no like off moment where you could just be like, I'm freaking out, you know. And I just kind of iced my foot. They gave me 5 days, and they said, if you can do a vault in 5 days and it's a good vault, we'll keep you. And, you know, at the end of the day, I knew I could do a vault. I knew I could do that for my team, because if I couldn't, that wouldn't be cool of me to be like, oh, I'm going to take this spot for somebody else, because another girl could take it. You know, I think Evie or Sarah Finnegan had that, and I would have given it to them if I knew that I couldn't have done it. But I knew that I could still do a vault no matter what.
Right. You were talking about some of your criticism that you've gotten with social media and stuff like that, and one of the criticisms...
That's just social media in general.
Oh, my God.
You can't get away from it.
How do you deal with that?
I don't. For a while, I was just like, it's just so much better to not do it, because you can't win. Everybody's always going to say something that kind of hurts you, no matter what you say. So I just don't even read it anymore. I've finally gotten to the point where I'm like, I'll say this and then tomorrow I'll be like crying at something else. But where I'm like at peace with people not agreeing with what I say. And with social media, like my advice is just be yourself, because at the end of the day, like people are really going to appreciate that. And the people who are going to get it, it'll speak to them. And the people who aren't, they weren't going to get it anyway. So you just really have to just stay true to yourself. And I just stay away from all kind of like things that are lower vibration, and just like stay up for the highest good of everyone so I can help more people and spread more love and light. I sound crazy, but I'm just like super into this stuff.
That's good. It's super positive.
Yeah.
Like that totally makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you do a great job. I mean, so many people, like I asked some people ahead of time, I like to get feedback, like, what would you want to ask McKayla Maroney? And they didn't even have questions. They were just like, tell her, thank you for being so positive on social media and being so open about her health struggles.
Those are the things that make my
yes.
day, because sometimes I just want to delete my Twitter and everything, and then I'll look at like my DMs and they're just like, thank you for that. And tell them I say thank you, because that means the world to me.
I will. Okay. Back to the haters for a moment.
Okay.
Give them a minute so that you can answer this. So some people have said, you know, when you see a gymnast who's had so many injuries, and you guys aren't the first team that's gone through this. I mean, every single world team, every Olympic team, basically a majority of the
I remember Alicia had like this huge ice pack on her shoulder at like the one Olympics. Yeah, it's
and the majority of the team
always
has
breaking down.
surgeries afterwards, and needs like a whole 6 months or a year to come back. Like it's not just you guys. It's a pattern.
It's a pattern that's been happening. Like, how do we prevent that?
Right.
You know.
Exactly. So some people said this is because of poor nutrition. Do you think did any of this have to do with poor nutrition on your part?
I mean, that's definitely a factor. There's so many factors to it, though. There's mindset, there's the way that you're thinking, because it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with how you look at yourself. And I think in the beginning, when I felt good about myself, everything's good, and you can kind of take the intense training and you can take all that and really let everything else go. But when you have, you know, weight and nutrition and the pressure in the gym and just all the surgeries just stacked on top of you, it's just too much to even kind of handle. I've just seen so many people just be so hurt, like not hurt, like sad, like affected. Like I was taught that resting was lazy. Resting was you just not trying hard enough. And I mean, you would go into the gym and you would have something hurt. Most gymnasts are used to this, just somebody saying, no, you're fine. And so you believe you're fine. Like I came into the gym after Worlds in 2013, and my whole body felt like it was broken, like it was shattering. I was just like, oh, my knees hurt so bad. And she was just like, yeah, it's probably just because you had, you know, a lot of days off, so you've gained weight. And she didn't say it in a mean way. It's just like, you've gained weight, like you just need to lose weight. And I was just like, honestly, in my head, I was just like, I wish that was the case. Like I wish that it was just, I just needed to lose weight. But I knew that I was like, I needed to go get like x-rays and MRIs. So I didn't listen to myself for a while. So I was just, I like called my mom. I was like crying in the locker room. I was just like, Mom, I need to get an MRI. And I had tendinosis in one, which was no blood flow in my leg. And literally, like, people have their leg cut off from stuff like that, which is like super duper dangerous. So I had to get surgery on that. And then I also just had tendinitis, like extremely bad tendinitis in this knee. And like, I was just told that I was making it up and I needed to lose weight.
Your coaches were telling you this?
Yeah. So but I think that's what most gymnasts kind of get, or that's what we got in my gym. They always make excuses for pain, and it's just a joke, because like you literally you start thinking that your pain isn't real. And that's what got really bad for me when my health just started tanking. I for so long just thought I was going insane. I thought I was making it up. That's what everybody was telling me. You're just making it up. Like, you need to like work harder and eat less, and you know, it's just so, and then that's just a downward spiral. And then with the nutrition, it's like what you get and what most girls get, but what I got was, you know, you need to lose weight. That's just something that's very common, and that's okay. Like with gymnastics, you do need to be light, or else it's dangerous. With the skills that you're doing, you can't put that much pressure on your body when you're training that long. So there's a piece of it that is correct, but that 24/7 going into the gym, really just hating your body, when you have that sort of mindset, your body starts deteriorating. I mean, I would be training for 7 hours, and by the time it hit like 8 o'clock, like I'd be almost passing out, and I'd be like, wow, like, good thing I didn't eat. Like, I feel so light right now. And I didn't think that was messed up at all, because nobody was saying that, because I needed to lose weight, and they agreed. Yes, you're looking skinnier. Good job. You know, that's what I would get. I would get praise. And I think that's definitely something that could really help the next generation of girls if they really just look at that and see, like, how can we become better and get these girls to be at their peak of body feeling great.
Health.
Because that's the most important thing, you know, mind, body, spirit, all has to be connected for you to go and do exactly what you need to do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you knew when you came back from Worlds something was wrong. You didn't listen to yourself.
Yeah.
It was getting so bad that your leg was...
Because my whole life I never listened to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
You listened to your coaches.
Yeah.
You didn't stand up for yourself because that's what you were taught.
Yeah. They've always kind of made me feel like I can't be myself. Like, I mean, I would be on the bus at the Olympics, and all the girls would be talking and listening to music, and I wasn't allowed to listen to music or talk. And I just was very... They wanted me to do so well, so bad, that they didn't want any distractions for me.
Were you told when you go to meets, like, don't talk to anyone and, like, just
They
focus?
really just, like, think that everybody's gonna affect you, like, in a bad way instead of a good way. And I would be told to, like, turn and face the wall and, like, don't look at I wasn't allowed to look at anybody. So I was already a very focused gymnast to begin with. Like, Allie would be like, McKayla, are you okay? Like, and because I was just that, like, so focused. And so naturally that was me. But when I wanted to talk and when I wanted to be open and kind of have that conversation, I wasn't allowed to have it. And that was, like, really hard, because my personality is very just, like, outgoing like that. Like, I know Simone's coach, like, Amy, is just, like, lets her, like, smile, which I'm just, like, super jealous of, which is sad.
Lets her smile.
But, like, that's all I would ever want, is just to, like, just enjoy competing, like, enjoy training, but I didn't really have that choice. So I just kind of, like, was just traumatized consistently. And once you get stuck in, like, not speaking up for yourself, the universe just keeps giving you more and more things that, like, bring you down, because you need to eventually learn how to speak up for yourself. And it was my lesson to learn, and I needed to learn it. And I put no blame on anybody for that, because I'm here now and I'm happy, and I'm just like, I'm so happy to be doing this interview with you to begin with. But yeah, so it all happens for a reason again, and I'll say that a million times over.
So we've kind of talked about your injuries. We've talked about what it was like for you in the gym.
Yeah.
The struggles that you've gone through. And I remember the last time that we saw an interview with you after your March 2014, you had your knee surgery. So this is like 5 or 6 months after you felt like something wasn't right. You finally had surgery on your knee for the tendinosis.
Too late, yeah.
And that's for the lack of blood flow. They can, like, kill your
You've
bone.
never heard that before,
Right?
yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. And then I remember you gave an interview at Visa Championships or P&Gs, whatever it was, in 2014, and you were like, I'm coming back, I'm gonna do this, I'm determined.
And every time that I ever said that, I meant it. And even when I went to classics in Chicago, I, like, threw out the first pitch, and then I went and watched the girls there, and I was just like, I really just wanted to be on the floor competing. And I went and I, like, looked at the vault, and I just got so emotional, because it will always just be my thing that I did and I loved. And I went and I talked to Marta, and I was like, yes, like, I'm serious about this. I'm getting healthier. I'm back in the gym. Like, I'm so excited about this year and this upcoming Olympics. And she was like, great, I'm excited for you. And she was just really cool. And then I just got really unhealthy again.
So what happened?
So since October of 2014, I would go back to the gym and then burn myself out for 3 months. And I did that until probably, like, a couple months ago. And I would go to doctor after doctor. They thought I got so many blood tests. I took this one Snapchat picture of just, like, like 15 blood tubes, and the lady was like, no, you can't take pictures of the blood tubes. And I was like, damn it, like I really wanted to show my friends how horrible and shit I'm going through right now. So I couldn't use that, but I was so unhealthy and tired that I couldn't get out of bed, really. I mean, I talked about it in my YouTube video. I got depressed.
I mean, you talked about feeling like suicidal and having a lot of anxiety.
Dark times.
Yeah. Did you get...
I'm like so out of that, so it's really hard for me to even go back into that point. I don't even know how I got there, but I was there. And I mean, it's weird what depression can do to you. It sucks everything out of you. I just had I like looked at the world and I thought that it was ugly, and it was the most horrible moment in my heart because I knew that it was beautiful, and I knew that there was so many good things about life that I used to love. And on social media, I would just be like, no, I'm fine. Like I was always just trying to keep it positive and keep up what I wanted to be because I was just holding on to that hope that I was gonna make it, and I wanted to make it so bad. The reason why I wanted to go to this next Olympics, I finally figured it out. It's like I wanted to show people that when everybody else is up against them, they can get through the struggle and the pain and just, all the surgeries that I had and do it because they love something. And I just one day just was like sitting outside and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, yeah, like that's cool that I want to do it to help inspire people. But I didn't know how to be okay with not being a gymnast. Because, I go into a Starbucks or a Jamba Juice or anything, and they're like, are you going to the next one? And until the other day, I was not okay with saying no. And I had no choice in my mind to be anything else. So even being burnt out, even having everything in my life tell me, McKayla, you have to be done. I know you don't want to. I know this is the one thing that you really thought that was for you, but eventually, you move on, and that's okay. And you have to be so passionate and so in love with gymnastics to be able to get to the Olympics. And when you start losing even just an ounce of that, I was just like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not. I called, Arthur, and I was just like, I think, like I took a day. I remember the last day I was like in the gym, my whole body felt like it was on fire. Have you ever been so tired that you're like peaceful because you like can't even, you have no thoughts?
Oh God.
Like I was just
that
like,
sounds
wow,
so scary.
I'm so tired. Like, and I just slept for like 3 days. Like I was that burnt out. Like it was just so bad. And I was just like, I'm gonna try to pretend like I'm done and like see how that feels. And I just felt like a weight lift off me. Sometimes it's the thing that you need to let go that's really holding you back from being healthy. And I'm just ready to put my worth and value into something else. And I'm just ready to just be excited about something else because I just got so bored with being unhealthy. I'm just like, I'm kind of over this. Like, I don't think I was over gymnastics. I don't think that was the thing. Like, I had so much more I wanted to do. I wanted to do a triple. I wanted to do, half on, full and a half. I wanted to do better bars. I wanted to win a gold medal on vault and to compete on floor. That my body was just like, I don't really want to be treated like that anymore. And like, I don't want anybody to ever think that, McKayla is retiring. Like, I don't even want people to use that word because I got into gymnastics when I was 18 months old. My mom put me in a Mommies and Me class. Like, this is something that I'm always going to be a part of. I'm never leaving this sport, whether you like it or not. I am sorry. I'm staying. And the only difference is I'm not competing anymore. But I'm going to be on the sidelines. I'm going to be at the Olympics cheering the girls on if I can. And it's really hard for me to be able to be comfortable with saying that because I haven't felt like that's enough to be on the sidelines, like to be just that girl that's just cheering, which is so messed up because that's not true. Everybody has their time and their moment, and I'm moving on to my next moment. And we all have those things in our life. we hit different pieces. And for my fans that have been supporting me through this whole entire journey, I just want them to know that if it's hard for them, that it's hard for me too. And it's definitely a grieving process, and that I'm here for them and I love them no matter if they're my fan or not, and I hope that they can love me whether I'm a gymnast or not. So, yeah.
Moving on to a different phase of your life now and to a new chapter. Your face has changed, your eyes have changed.
Oh my God.
You look like so happy.
Because I've been holding this in for a while, and I think it's just so hard for a gymnast or an athlete to leave their sport with peace. Like, how do you do that and make people happy? Because the person that they love that was an athlete is done. And it's a goodbye for them. And it's a goodbye for me. And it's just hard in general. So I've been really just like brewing on this whole emotion and feeling and how to say it the right way, and just, I don't know if there is a right way to say it other than just being honest. And the way that I think of it is like, so gymnastics was like my first love, right? Like my boyfriend, think of it, like literally. And like breaking up with this thing that I've been doing for my whole entire life is like the most painful thing ever. And that's why I'm lighting up, because it's just, I finally get to really do something and tell my fans that I love with all my heart that I'm going on this new journey. I'm actually going to be like getting into music now, and I'm just like so excited. I've been writing and just like making demos. I'm in production right now and like in the studio. And again, music is kind of like gymnastics. It takes a lot of hard work. I love being creative. I love writing. I love just the art. So this isn't something that's random. This isn't going off of like anybody's thing that they're telling me to do. This is going off of my heart. We think that for gymnasts that there's a peak and they hit it and they're done. And I know that, people will probably say that to me, but I don't even think that I hit my peak in my life. I don't think I did. And I think every moment is just a never-ending healing and transformation of bettering yourself and becoming more and more you. And if this video does nothing else, I just want it to inspire people to really follow their dream. And that's what I've stood for my whole life. Even just getting into gymnastics, 8 years old, I'm trying to go to the Olympics, I would tell people, and they'd laugh at me. They'd be like, "Oh my God, you're so cute." And I'm like, "No, I'm like serious." And it's all about believing in yourself, and I'm gonna do that same thing now.
Action.
Spiritually critical. I'm gonna get a shirt that says
Oh my God.
Don't be so. There's been a lot of criticism from some fans about AOGC and about Arthur and Galena specifically, that their coaching style breaks gymnasts.
I agree.
Do you?
I completely agree. I love them. They love me. They love their gymnasts. But I started to learn that sometimes they really weren't helping me in a mental way. In technical, let me just give Arthur and Galena, like, they're the best technical coaches in the whole entire world. Arthur changed my gymnastics, and I'm so, forever grateful for that. But just, mentally, they just messed me up, so badly. And I love them with all my heart. But to speak my truth would to just be, to really say that it did affect me. And again, there's, a better way of doing things. I mean, I at least got to the Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
When they talk to you about weight, how did that make you feel?
Well, realistically, that's how they were raised. They had people that had it worse on them. They had it so hard. Like Arthur was telling me just the intensity that they had. Like they weren't allowed to talk or see people, or they were stuck in really bad environments with mean coaches too. So for them looking at me, it's like, wow, she has it easy. She gets to go home. She has a cell phone. So you always have to kind of be like, what did they mean there? Like, I know they weren't really, because they're not trying to really hurt you. That's not their intention. All they want at the end of the day is for you to succeed and do well. And sometimes they just say things in the wrong way. And I was in the mindset where I would do anything for them. Like, I listened to them more than I would listen to my parents. Like, because I knew that they were the people that were really gonna help me get to where I needed to go. So I think in a way, like, I've heard them talk about, gymnasts like that, like they just have it so easy. They just get to, go home and eat dinner, like, which is sad that happened to them. But to mirror your pain onto somebody else and take it out, that's not how you're gonna build champions.
What's so interesting to me is like you've got this such a deep understanding for the complexities of relationships and coaching and athlete dynamics and down so well. Like, you understand there are things that you've said that I think it takes adults years and years to really understand. And even when you're talking about your coaches, it's like you're seeing them in a holistic way. Like, they don't mean it this way, but it did affect, this was my experience, but this is they're just doing this because this is what they learned, so they think it's best.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. And did you feel like you were like parenting them as you were going along?
That's
like,
so funny that you say that, because I literally, like, me and my mom just were talking about that the other day. Like, when I like broke my foot at Worlds before Japan, like, Arthur was like freaking out. Like, he was just kind of stopped talking to me, ignored me, which was really painful to be like doing, like, I got like first at the camp and like just like that feeling and that energy and hugs, and then to like me hurting my foot and then he could barely like look at me, I was terrified to get hurt. And I think that's why I got hurt so often, because I would walk into the gym, even just regular gym, just praying that I wouldn't get hurt, which is like so like bad. It's just, I knew it was bad. I was like, stop thinking about this. But I was so traumatized from that like experience of being so like loved to like nothing.
All of a sudden, all withdrawn just because.
Yeah, and I kind of had to motivate him. Like, he would come to me and he's like, I don't know, like, I mean, if he would talk to me, and I was just like, no, Arthur, like, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I'm gonna be able to compete. Like, my foot's gonna be okay. And yeah, it just like, so that was always me, and that becomes so mentally like just exhausting. And physically, when you already have just something broken and you're just reminding somebody like, I'm gonna be okay, instead of the other way around, like, you're gonna be okay, we're gonna do this, like. And I don't like talking about people in this sort of way. It doesn't feel right to me, but it's just like, that is what happened. And I think it happens for a lot of athletes, that it hurts when you're not really cared about and somebody doesn't motivate you when
they withdraw their affection if you don't perform. So like, your worth is directly tied to how well you do, instead of just, I love you no matter what.
Just the affection part. Like, he still like loved me and cared about me, but it was like, he would just be like sitting in the corner. Like, even Marta one time was like, Arthur, stop being a vampire. Like, he was like hiding in the corner, just like couldn't even look at anything. Like, I think it was that painful for him. Like, it was like, he didn't want me to be hurt. And he had gymnasts in the past that got hurt too. And he told me one time, like, I'm cursed. Like, I have gymnasts that get hurt right before like meets. So to put kind of that on me, like, was just like, I did keep getting hurt. And then I felt like, oh, I really don't want to do this to him. Like, so I just felt so much pressure all the time to like make him feel like I was taking that curse away from him. But it's just like, that's his own thing that he kind of needs to let go.
How do you think they're going to react when they watch this?
I don't know. That's still something that I walked into this interview just kind of like ignoring that part, because again, you can't worry about what people are going to think. You can't. And if I was, I don't think I would be here right now. And sorry for what I have to say if you don't like it, but this is me. Take it or leave it. That's it.
Oh, that's so good. There is a certain stigma that goes along with being, and I feel like you're not being critical of gymnastics. You haven't like been critical of the sport itself. It's sort of like how the system is run and some of the techniques that your coaches
like
use.
athletes in general, like kind of
Right.
just like things that we need to be informed about. It's not so much like it's your fault. It's like, hey, let's work on this for our country so we can win more medals. I hope that's not the vibe that's coming off right now. That's very like blamey, like trying to say it's all your fault, like victim stuff, because I respect them so much, like everything they've done, because I can't say that I've done better. I haven't brought a team to the Olympics, like I didn't build USA Gymnastics, you know? So again, I don't have experience with that, but I'm just saying what it was like for me to go through what I went through. And it's as simple as that.
Do you think if there were some things that you would change right away, if you were going to work from the inside,
Okay.
because you still love the sport, which you
Yeah.
said, and you still want to be involved, what kind of things would you like to change so that people could stay longer, be healthy, and not, you know, and also not feel so guilty when it's time to move on?
Definitely, first off, is like when you get into gymnastics, knowing that it eventually, you know, it comes to an end and that it's not your whole life. And that's like perfectly fine. And that I'd probably like go into the camp and like really change like, you know, the food there and make it more real. Maybe make a different like spot where the gymnasts can eat so we don't have to eat next to our coaches because we don't want to eat when we're with them and we just walk out early because it's not worth eating with them, so we just don't eat. And then just having maybe a nutritionist come in and really like get somebody like the right supplements, check their body, like what are they missing, what are the nutrients they're not getting, why do they crave this food so much? It's because they're not getting enough this, you know? So you always have to keep transforming and getting better and better. And you can't just be like, oh, we're good here. It's like, no, the world's evolving. Like you have to keep evolving. I have to keep evolving or we just get stuck.
Had an episode a couple of shows ago about Marvin Sharp, and we had some in the abuse scandal, and we had a couple of experts on, and one of them talked about, she's a psychologist, and she talked about, you know, the reason that you put children in sports is to make them better people and to teach them life lessons. Do you feel like the USA Gymnastics program, the elite program, is missing part of that part of sport?
I think in life you can take lessons from anything. I don't think it's their job to be like, I'm going to teach these girls lessons. Like, no, this is a serious thing. We're here to make the Olympic team. I just think that they need to take care of their girls and really form a relationship with them and keep the girls healthy and make them the best gymnasts that they can be. And instead of just training them to their death, try to prevent them from dying, you know?
It's the little things.
It's the little things in life, right?
Prevent them from dying, yes. So let's talk about the new chapter. What is the daily life like for you? Like, I assumed you've graduated from high school now. Yes. Yeah. Yay. Have you thought about going to college or music school or doing?
Right now I kind of am in like a music school. I'm like in a music process with like artist development and like just learning a lot of different instruments and piano and just music theory and just like really just finding who I am and who I want to be instead of just being like, I just want to like put out a song because I can, like, because I can, but that's not what I want. I want this music to be true to who I am and speak through to many people because that's why I'm making it. So, like college-wise, like I always knew that I was never gonna do gymnastics for college, which is like funny because like girls would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go here, and I would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna be an actress. Like I just always knew that, and like people would just be like, they looked at that like I was like gonna be a stripper. Like I just didn't conform, and like people like literally looked down on me, but I just like kept just being like, yeah, it's just not for me. Like just that normal like schedule life, just I'm so done with it. I'm just like, I just want to do things like that are just freeing, and just maybe one day, like when I'm 40, I'll like go and like get my bachelor's degree in something, but like not for now. Like for now, I missed a lot of my younger years, and I just kind of want to like take it in.
You've
have fun.
definitely earned it.
Thank you.
For sure, for sure. And I have something here that I think is something else that you're working on. Can we discuss?
Yes, my leotard line.
Yes.
So that's something that I've wanted to do forever, because like I've always been like a girl that was like obsessed with like being comfortable. So basically I'm trying to make my own line of something that I really feel is still hitting the stylish point, and also being comfortable, and also just feeling like, wow, I look really good right now. Like just like kind of like that. And so we've like designed a couple just to begin. Yeah. I finally have time to do things like this, you know? So, yeah.
Explore all of your other talents.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I have to say that I've seen these designs and some of your other designs.
Yeah, there's another, like, we made a lot of them.
Yeah, and I thought they were amazing and creative and original.
See, this one's more for, like, we've been looking at fabrics and different things and really talking about stuff like that. My idea of, like, a perfect leotard is, like, you can go to the mall after. Like, because I would do that sometimes, like, super chalky and just, like,
who hasn't been to, like, the grocery store after?
For somebody, exactly. Like, wow, I look like a complete loser in this sparkly pink leotard, and I'm, like, 20. Like, this does not feel, oh my God, this scrunchie. That even tops it. That's just like, who am I? It just like doesn't make sense. When you feel good in something, it makes you better. So I just intend to like make things that help people feel good.
So are you working with anyone right now in production?
We're kind of trying to find somebody who's the right fit to help me make it. So, because that's like really important to find all the right fabrics and people and like the people to help make it the dream that you want it to be. Right. So we're being very specific about that. But so no, that's the answer. Not yet. Yeah.
Oh, I think there's going to be a bidding war after your
gosh.
name and
that'd be
leotards.
Cool. I'm down for that.
Yes, I think so. I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
No, thank you. Really, it means a lot to me to just be able to say all this stuff and talk nonstop and just be annoying and just like really just get out everything that I need to say, because
that's
it was needed for me. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to create this show, so that we could have gymnasts have more than just
a place to speak. Wow. Thank you for doing that.
So thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck in the next chapter. I'm Jessica, and you can find us every week. We do the podcast at GymCastic. We're at gymcastic.com. And what's your website so that they can follow you?
McKaylaMaroney.com.
McKayla Maroney.
And McKayla Maroney on Twitter and Instagram and whatever. And thank you again for listening. It means the world to me. If you've gotten through this far, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you all. Peace and love. Thanks.
You can make learning bigger vaults easier and safer using tumble track equipment. Using the cross supports, you can take vaulting directly to the tumble track, and that's the best place on earth. Begin work on the new T-Trainer to gain height and confidence performing new skills. Next, transition to the firmer tabletop for a more realistic feel. Once you're ready, take it to the table with our sweet spot strapped on top for extra height. Utilizing this equipment will make it safer as you learn those new, fun vaults.